Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this July 18th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're on the EOA network, and here in just a bit we will have LeGrand School Superintendent George Mendoza be with us. So, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
I was listening to the right stream this morning, so I heard his cue.
You didn't stroke out on me again like you did on Tuesday?
That's right. Yep.
It's warm in here today.
It's warm.
I can feel it like right now, just like. Ooh.
Yeah, our air conditioning is down, and they're ordering parts, and we have no idea how long that's going to take. Yeah, it's not a great time to be down.
We'll probably live. Well, that's when air conditioners go down.
Yeah.
When it's hot.
Yep, I would think so.
Yeah. It's like the people that own air conditioning companies or HVAC companies that just circle those days on their calendar like, I'm getting rich this week. You know what I mean? Like they're just excited about it.
Well, the guy that worked on ours was pretty busy, so felt fortunate.
We're lucky that we got somebody in to take a look at it.
So,
man, there's fire. There's another fire busted out in Umatilla County. I guess it's pretty bad. I mean, just from what I read, like level 3 evacuation or something. And
yeah,
you can kind of feel. When you're outside, you can definitely tell that there's fires. Like,
yeah. Well, it just got super dry very quickly,
really fast.
And man, the way the weather was last night, I thought that we were gonna. I mean, it looked like it was getting dark. There was going to be a little bit of a storm, and thankfully it didn't formulate.
It did look like, look like it was going to storm last night.
Yeah, because when you have those hot days like that, and then
thank God it didn't, because that would have brought lightning for sure.
Yep.
It would have been gnarly. And I'm sure, like a lot of the firefighters, there's a big fire in Utah right now, and I think there's 5 in Oregon.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that's normal for this time of year, but still, like, this might be a bad fire year.
Yeah.
Not hoping so, but yeah.
Well, hey, you want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit right here in LeGrand. They have fresh Legos, including the highly sought-after botanical line, as you can see right there in Joe's hands. They're cool, man. Get into Hobby Habit and check them out. 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it. The Union County 10U softball team won on Wednesday in the state tournament. The 12U team, who's on their way to San Bernardino, just happened to be in the neighborhood and got to stop and watch them. This 12U team's on their way to San Bernardino to represent Oregon in the West Regional. That means that if they win this tournament, they are off to the Little League World Series, which is really cool. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing for these girls. And if I do believe that the 10U team still has a chance to make the regionals, too. They lost, I think, on Friday or Tuesday. It's really hard because there's not anybody updating the 10U team with, like, scores and stuff, and I don't see it anywhere. It might be on a Game Changer, but they do have a chance. The 12U team starts play on July 21st, which is a Sunday, at 7 p.m. versus the winner of Idaho and Wyoming on ESPN+. So you can check it out if you have the ESPN app. It's not going to be on like ESPN on TV, but if you have the ESPN app, ESPN+, you'll be able to watch it. And it's technically I would say the second round, because they have a bye the first round and they play the winner of Idaho and Wyoming. And like I said, if they win this tournament, they go to the Little League World Series, which is awesome. That photo was courtesy of my guy, Gib Pollard. Shrine. we are, what are we, about 8 days away? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 9 days away from Shrine. It's crazy. We're going to be giving away tickets as soon as they get here. I think I have a handful of tickets to give away, so pay attention for that. I'll put up a couple posts in the next week or so, and we'll get a couple of lucky fans a chance to go watch the All-Star game is what it is for Oregon football. Here's a little look at the 23 game.
Yeah, you feel that tingling in your spine, the butterflies in your stomach? Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. Stork rolls out to his left, has daylight, and is going to dive in for the touchdown. Good reaction from Stork. Stork and this offense. He rolls to his right, just misses being tackled. Looks down the field, makes the pass. It's going to be picked off. And that is going to be number 4 for the Weston, Gunnar Rothenberger, and he's going to make his way down to about the 35. He gets the direct snap again, pushes his way forward, and he is going to have the touchdown.
Oh, he's got it.
That is number 89 for the East.
He's going to take that to the house.
And he's going to go in for the
wow.
recovery for a touchdown. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, last year's game was awesome. I mean, it was a close score. I want to see more offense this year. The festivities will kick off 6 p.m. Saturday, July 27th. But earlier in the day, there's all kinds of things going on in Baker. They have a breakfast, the Cattlewoman's breakfast in the park at, I believe, 9. And then I think the parade is at 1 o'clock. There's just all kinds of things going on for the Shrine game. So if you don't have anything going on Saturday the 27th, get over to Baker and check this game out. It's really cool. It's good football, and it's exciting. If you need tickets, you can go to the Oregon East-West Shrine Facebook page, or you can go to their website and get tickets right there. Finally, like I've been ending every sports report, Cade's Courage. Cade McKinley is a 3-sport athlete at LeGrand High School, and he was recently diagnosed with a form of Ewing sarcoma, and the family's going to need some help. Here's the QR code for the GoFundMe. You can scan it. It'll take you directly to their GoFundMe page, or you can go to US Bank right here in town. They have a Venmo set up, which you'll be able to find on the Facebook page that they just set up for Cade's Courage, and I'm going to put a link to that right in the comments right now. So if you want to follow that, if you want to help the McKinley family, here it is. It's a great cause, and it's well worth the money and the time with everything that the McKinley family has done for this community. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit right here in LeGrand, just for the fun of it.
Good stuff. Thank you. You know, those Botanic, the Legos, for just a minute, the Lego, they like have flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like they are.
Yeah, they got all kinds of Legos.
That's
nowadays.
crazy.
Yeah.
I saw somebody online the other day, or a story on TV or something, where this guy has buying Lego kits, and he disassembles them and sorts them out so that he can sell the individual pieces. Yeah.
Maybe he found a way to make some money.
I think that's probably, yeah, I don't know, but that's crazy. So anyhow.
I watched this guy on YouTube. He's he rides a motorcycle down in like Texas, and he rides like in homeless camps and just meets all the homeless people and just rides around town. Really, it's he has a few different motorcycles that he rides, but he's constantly talking about scrapping, and he's not a scrapper himself, but he kind of like talks about it and not really makes fun of it, but just and it's kind of like taking apart them Legos and selling them piece by piece, because like he'll find like a plug and there's copper in that. Just goofing around, you know what I mean?
That sounds a little bit like my brother.
Yeah. It's just everything could possibly have something that you can scrap in it to him. Yeah, it's quite entertaining.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look outside. It's warm.
Yep.
And
Already.
it's supposed to, it was a little bit cooler day yesterday. It was still in the 90s, but it was less. And so then let's look at the graphic. And so today up to 97. Yeah, so it's going to be warm, and then
look at the humidity too, 34%.
Wow.
40%.
And then over the weekend, it's going to
be a scorcher
very
on Sunday.
warm. Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
So
104 on Sunday.
Yeah. So Saturday, Saturday is Crazy Days downtown. Normally that kicks off. I mean, I think the cars start the car show. They start lining up about 9 o'clock, something like that. And so Adams Avenue will be closed, and the farmers market will be going. Then there'll be lots of activity on Saturday in downtown, and then Saturday afternoon, starting at 2 o'clock, the LeGrand First Baptist Church is having their 150th year anniversary celebration at Mac Square. They'll have music and different things going on between 2 and 6 o'clock. They're serving dinner at 5, hot dogs, so anybody who wants to be a part of that is welcome to be a part of that also. And then, what'd you go say?
No, I was just going to say, in the town that I used to live in, Dallas, they used to have a Crazy Days, and they had to change the name because it was politically not politically correct.
Really?
To call it crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Man,
And yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Snippet of information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy Days.
And then also on Sunday, the First Baptist Church is a part of several churches, and they're going to be having their a combined Sunday service at Mac Square also. So super busy weekend. I'll be streaming that event, and that will probably be on our network, that church service on Sunday morning. Anyhow, I want to mention one of our sponsors, Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. They are a big sponsor. They sponsor the sports show, and then we also manage their social media for them. That's something that we've been doing more and more, is helping people locally with their social media. A lot of people who need social media management have to go out of the area to do that. But Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto, they are our first choice for auto care. Rockin' Sons is veteran-owned auto shop, and it puts its customer satisfaction as their number one concern. You can trust Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto down at the east end of Adams Avenue. All right. So here in just a minute, we will be back with LeGrand Superintendent George Mendoza. We'll be right back.
I do clean vehicles. I have 4 of these hats, the same one.
All right, we're back. Are you plugged in? Back with George Mendoza here in the studio. How are you, man?
I'm well, my friend. How are you, Brent?
I'm good.
Morning, Dodsy.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So you're off. You're just this is summer. You're off. You're just totally gelling. You don't have any work to do, right?
Yeah. No, I'm.
I know. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah. No, I'm realizing. I was actually reflecting that I like to be busy,
Yeah.
and so I guess I don't allow myself to be off too much.
Yeah.
But I like to be off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've been using in my mind like work-life harmony, just trying to be in harmony. But if I'm not busy, I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? So, yeah.
So, do you? I mean, are the buildings is a little stranger though? I mean, the buildings are empty for the most part during the. Is that a little? I mean, is it quiet? Do you like that sometimes when you roll around?
I do like, a little bit of peace and less intensity. But the district office, we lost Michelle Glover. This is her last month. She took a job for frontline education, so now I've had to bring in a new business director, Melissa Reagan, and you get into these conversations about money and conversations about roles and responsibility, and so building relationship and doing things with her and taking her to meetings or taking her to different things so that we can bond and then see kind of the world through at least the superintendent's eyes. That's really what I try to do. Then we just lost a principal. Jennifer Melendez took another job. She resigned about 2 weeks ago, so then I've had to figure out staffing that position. So there's always things that take place, and then you're just trying to deal with it and do more with that. And then Wildcat Center and lots of activities taking place, lots of last minute details and going to meetings and organizing things with that, and all the projects that you do in the summer too with construction, and getting updates and then moving that work forward. So I wind up staying busy with just summer things that we need to get done. But I do I'll come in at 9 o'clock. When normally I would come in at 8 o'clock or at 7:30, and I'll play golf, or I'll just I'll have state meetings that I need to go to. Like I went to Salem this last on Monday, and I went Sunday, but meeting Monday. Then I went to a professional development thing in Albany yesterday. So I wind up having these little pockets of things where I got to be at. So it's good though. It keeps you busy though.
Now, so tell me who is in your administrative circle that help? I mean,
the cabinet.
Yeah. I don't know
So
what you call
we
that.
call
Yeah,
it a cabinet. Scott Carpenter is the assistant superintendent, and he does everything that's instructional. So I usually use the words like he has the instructional side of the house, K through 12, from data to systems to professional development, title programs, federal programs. Then Erica Pinkerton, she's going to get married. It'll become Erica Dockweiler pretty soon. So Erica does the student services, so special education, but she does mental health and behavioral health as well for our school district, culture of care. And then so those are the two, I'm just say on the academic side of things. Then you have Casey Hampton. Casey does all the technology in our school district. And then we have Brad Sunderman. Brad does the facilities, maintenance, operations. And then you have, it was Michelle Glover, and that'll be Melissa Reagan, who does, is the business manager, but she also does food and nutrition. So I wind up doing superintendent, and then I'm also the HR director, and then I'm also the transportation liaison with Midco. So anything that has to do with transportation also comes through me.
Okay.
And that's the cabinet.
That's
the people that make the.
Yeah.
I'll just say the district office that makes the things work in our school district.
Yeah.
And then we do a lot of things to support people, whether we use the ESD to help us or we hire other folks to help us propagate or support our schools. We do that kind of stuff.
Well, and we've talked a lot when you visited with us. We've talked a lot about leadership and leading people and I can see how those positions would be really important to you. So
yeah.
yeah.
I to get things to work, there's not enough. I usually tell people, like, there's not enough of me. I don't know every interaction that a child has with a teacher. I don't know of every interaction that an administrator has with a parent.
Right.
I need people to, like, update me, but also I need Scott to help them.
Right.
Or I need Erica to help them, or I need Brad to look at a maintenance issue or a grounds issue and help them. And so you have to have people that have defined roles and responsibilities, and they make the work happen.
Yeah.
And you just support each other.
So now when you have a major construction project like going on, who manages that? How does that happen?
Well, I get an owner's rep if I can, and right now it's Cassie Hibbert, and she's from Winnahaw Group, and Cassie Hibbert is the owner's rep that we have for
What is
the
an
Wildcat
owner's rep?
Center.
I don't know.
She represents the school district.
Oh, I get it.
Imagine a person that knows a lot about construction and has a construction background and knows a lot about the rules and the laws that have to be followed, whether city and codes that need to be implemented, and somebody that looks out for the interest of the owner.
Okay.
So that's what Cassie does, and she makes sure that we're also looking at dates and timelines. But you get to the point when you're the superintendent that you're aware of all these things too, because you just wind up learning a lot about what needs to happen and phases of things that need to happen. But I can't be at every meeting.
Right.
And so she's there, and then she's also, keeps track of our money, keeps track of the activities that took place, will also give me recommendations or give our board recommendations or our bond oversight committee recommendations, and then she'll have ideas or strategies when we have issues or problems. So having an owner's rep really is good, but it costs some money.
I was going to ask, is she an employee of the school district?
It's a contracted service, so you wind up paying, I think for us, we wound up paying $40,000 for Wildcat Center, and she supports us with everything from beginning, middle, and end of that project. But like for HVAC, I won't always have an owner's rep. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it was Joseph Wade or Brad. Brad, to me, is like, he used to be our custodian maintenance manager, and so I bumped him up to facilities director, which is, operations and grounds and maintenance, and there's not enough of him.
Right.
So I have to go and also meet with our construction teams and then also get the updates. So I become an owner's rep with a variety of projects. And then if Winnahaw or others are too busy, well, they're not able to be an owner's rep for us. So then I have to do it. But I'll always need help with making sure that we do bids right. So when we get requests for qualifications, and then we do design builds, that I get help from ESD to make sure that we write a really good contract and that we follow that process. I'll ask Derek Cope, who is the Intermountain ESD Director of Facilities. Derek Cope can help us do a little bit of project management, but for the most part, they help you with the RFQs, the request for qualifications, or RFPs, request for proposals. And then it becomes just more of me or more of Brad. And then me telling, like, Kathy Shaw, I need you to help Brad with this. Michelle Glover or Melissa Reagan, I need you to help this. And I need you guys all to help us push the work forward, because there's not enough of me to get it all to happen. Right. I need you to ask for dates and timelines. I need you to make sure that things get ordered. And so I do these kinds of things where I tell people we all need to be accountable.
Yeah.
And I need you to hold me accountable, and then I need you to push for things too, so that it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I follow that. The thing that becomes such a huge burden is the communication process, because you have this task, and we're right in the middle of Shrine. Preparing for that, and there's just an enormous. So you have one person who is. You've got the work has to be done by a whole bunch of people, but unless you've kept them up to date along the way, they have no idea what to do or how to be intuitive or how to plug in, or you know what I mean. So it's just
Yeah, and people are spread thin. I'll just say it that way. So I wind up doing kind of collective things, and then I'll say, if this person here can do this, that'll support this person, and if this person can pay this, then I'm aware, and then I can have this conversation that I need to have. But I do enough where I think, like, spread out the information, whose role and responsibility, and then let's get it done.
So do you have, I mean, I know that in your world, money comes in from a whole different sources, and you call them buckets. And those buckets can only be spent on particular things. Okay. So when you're doing a building project like this, are there separate buckets too? I mean, so there's some money for the basketball standards, and there's some money for the, I mean, are you having to keep track of that
We
stuff
can
too?
call it like, yes, you have to keep track of everything, but you can think of like braided funding. So yes, we have awesome grant funds, and those are the maintenance funds that we were able to get where we got passed a bond and we got $4 million from the state. Then we have our bond dollars, which are taxes that we wind up getting from our constituents, from our stakeholders. And so that has to go towards that project. And then you can use general fund from the school district. So we can use some of our fund. You can even use some of the ESSER funds for HVAC. So you can pick different things from different buckets. Like ESSER can do HVAC, so that does that. Your general fund can pay for lights or for clocks or for anything that you think you need to do as an ancillary dollar if you don't have enough. Your awesome dollars can go for whatever you said in the grant that you indicated. So if I said that I was going to do plant and operations, I could use that to buy the plant and operations facility and then to update it into warm, safe, and dry. And then the bond project has to go towards whatever you say when voters pass that bond. So it can go for the Wildcat Center, or it could go for also for HVAC projects in the school district. But everything has its pot, and then you just kind of like use it for whatever you can to get the thing accomplished that needs to be accomplished.
Yeah, I can see where that would be a little bit of a jungle.
It is. But you get, sometimes I tell people, this is my 28th year, and I've been an administrator for over 20. You over 20 years, you learn how things work.
Yeah.
And then it becomes less complicated.
Yeah. At least you know what to anticipate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how money can be used for different things, all of it.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of the pictures that you sent us. They're going to be right up here, George. And so these are just some of the different things that are going on. You can slow down just a little bit, Gabe. Yeah.
If you want, I don't know if you want me to say anything about each one, but
you aren't going to have a chance to
Just
say anything
pause
about
it.
each one with these rolling like this.
no, it's good. You can see though right there that we have more of a terraced look that we're having from the parking lot into the middle school athletic field where we play soccer. So you can see that that's going to be a walkway up there, and it's actually going to be paved. So when you think of people wanting to get access in a paved walkway, we'll have that. And then we'll actually have a paved from the greenhouse all the way to the backside of the middle school. So we're going to have that ADA accessible basically at the top. So the rest is going to be all a big parking lot. And then we're going to paint those retaining walls that you saw that were gray.
Yeah.
Those are all going to be blue. So everything's going to look, I'm just going to call it cleaned up and updated with painting the middle school, painting the Wildcat Center, painting the parking lots, painting the...
Why blue? Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, yeah. No, we just LeGrand blue.
Yeah, but the middle school's green.
It's
The Wildcats are green. I wore the jersey. Trust me.
No, we were tan is what we were looking like, and they're blue and white now.
Oh, are they?
But yeah,
They switched because when I was in middle school, the Grand Wildcats, we were green.
No.
We were 100% green.
We're blue and white now.
Oh, I love it. Okay, good.
So
I like that.
You're going to see blue, gray, and white throughout the whole thing.
As it should be.
Yeah. So, and then the big middle school, right? The big section is all tan. So it's that kind of a orangey, yellowish tan color, and that's going to now be blue and gray with white trims. So
the
whole thing.
So you're repainting the
Everything.
existing building.
Everything again. When my goal is to make things look up to date, and then cleaned up, and to flow. so it looks good.
So those rocks that we were seeing,
Yeah.
that's in the back. That
Yeah. Those think retaining wall. We've had that kind of offset ground where you've had the annex, and
Right.
then above it you've had the
That little
the
parking-
athletic
yeah,
field.
yeah.
That so in order for us to make it flow, retaining walls coming up, and then road pathway coming up too. So with asphalt, so it looks pretty.
So
Cool.
like a little walkway that'll walk you up to the soccer
Yeah.
field back
But
there?
right now walkway, but pretty soon asphalt.
Oh, okay.
So we mean right now walkway with rocks, but pretty soon it'll be asphalt taking you up there.
cool. Yeah, I haven't even noticed construction going on there.
Yeah. So that's right now they're doing they're going to start getting ready to do the asphalt. So they've been prepping everything for the asphalt parking lot, and then they're bringing in a corridor from the middle school that makes it more like a hallway into going towards the Wildcat Center, and then they're building an awning so that we would walk from the school through into the Wildcat Center. They've been installing air conditioning now. They've been putting in the hoops. They should be putting in the floor next week, putting in the sport court or the Comfort 110, and then they've been putting in the sheetrock. They're almost done with completely sheetrock, doing all the sheetrock, and then they're going to tape and texture. And
Wow.
it's a lot.
And we have a video of the interior. Let's run that real quick.
Almost a week old.
Okay.
So that's them, how far they went with sheetrock, and then you could see on the left that they've got shelving, or they've got I'll just call it closets. It's not storage space. If he shows it again and sticks
Yeah.
to the left.
Play that one more.
And then you can see that there was like a little wet look with cones on the ground, and that was them kind of leveling out and making sure everything gets leveled out so that we put in that sport court.
It kind of almost looks like the field house on the inside.
It's huge.
little bit,
It
yeah.
is. So it's
You get
gonna.
that feel, it's got the upstairs walkway. And
I mean that
cool.
definitely was the inspiration. So the field house for us was like, we need something like that,
yeah.
big like that, and lots of space like that.
And places to put offices as well, or classrooms.
Classrooms. We have
Yes.
6 classrooms,
Wow.
That's crazy.
big
6
classrooms.
more. And 3 basketball courts?
3 basketball courts, full size high school basketball courts.
And then the net system that
yes,
we're working
that
on.
also was installed with the hoops.
Right.
If we might in some of those pictures see that the hoops were also installed. If we go back to that, if we look up, those hoops just came
In the video or the photos?
in the video.
Yeah.
Even in some of the photos, down netting. So I don't show the picture of that because the nets. I'll just say that, but the system has been in there.
Oh,
so
cool.
now the drop down stuff is in there too.
The old, what was the building called?
Annex.
The old annex. If you ever played sports in LeGrand, you know about that building, especially if you played baseball or softball, because we have really, really hard winters and falls here. So a lot of time you're spent in the annex. You never forget the smell of that building. You don't. It's not like a horrible smell. It's just different. Like I'll remember that smell forever. It was just ingrained in you.
You're kind of unique, yeah.
Yeah, it's a unique smell.
Yeah.
Kind of like grandma's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it smells. It smells good.
but you know how it is when you go to grandma's house. It's like,
Grandma's house always smelled like white shoulders. White shoulders.
I will say, sometimes I share with folks, when I got here, this is my 8th year. I'm starting my 8th year. But when I got here and I dropped off my son for AAU basketball practice, I went into the annex and I just saw it all. And that's probably what drove me the most from an emotional standpoint. Like, I've got to get us out of this building, and I've got to do things for this community or for this school district to get our facilities to be up to date.
It was like that when I was in high school, George. I mean, it was, you know,
Yeah.
not in great
That,
shape.
that was my most shocking, facility experience. That just kind of like, this is,
We got to move forward.
yeah, I will not be okay with this.
Soft spots on the court.
Yeah.
So I remember I mean, I played a lot of basketball in there too. And there used to be, you know, I played middle school basketball there. I played city league basketball when I came back from California.
And people were telling me, like, it gets used a lot. We're using it all the, you know, and so on. And kids are here every day, and this is where we have. And I was like,
Well, it's because that's all they got.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it really was a spark of making things better.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that you first worked on was the field, the track, and those bleachers and the press box, and right? I mean, all of that.
To make everything up to date. If we're
Yeah.
going to do stuff, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then tennis court, you know, to me, the new tennis court was just the old tennis court, you could tell, was cracked and kind of in a state of disrepair. But knowing that that was really good real estate for a parking lot, because we had a parking issue at Central the way it started, and then it became, how much does it cost to build a new tennis court? And all these little things, and we can do all this.
Yeah.
The tennis courts is a parking lot now. When I was in high school, that was tennis courts.
And now we've made it into a real parking lot, and
Yeah.
we put in asphalt for like a parking lot, and we've engineered it, and we've drained it, and we've made it so that everything is the way it should be now.
Right.
So, yeah, no, you know, those are all little, like, you learn and you experience, and you, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's work, right? It's a lot of work from beginning, middle to end, but it's like fulfilling, very fulfilling work.
Well, and a lot of, you know, we've talked about this, I talk about this a lot, how that a lot of growing a business is like having a restaurant or whatever it might be, you know, and you remove the obstacles. So you try and walk in the front door like you're a customer, and is there a garbage can that we really need to put that around the corner, or is there, you know, I mean, you remove the little things first, you know, and the school district is a big area that has a whole bunch of little things, you know, and some of those things, you know, they don't cost a lot to do. That just takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of thought.
Yeah, and I mean, and dedication, and,
Right.
and like following it through, just like
Right.
you're saying. And we have over 50 acres of land spread out,
Right.
but a lot of things that, so we can miss things when you got more than 50 acres of land.
For sure.
But if you get partnerships and you get people all thinking about what do we need to do, you know, what's the most pressing thing, and you do methodically, like, get surveys or get information on the issues or the problems or the areas that need addressed, we do that, and then we rank order that, and then I'm like, okay, priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, how much money are you working on getting a contractor for that, or are we going to handle that? It becomes this process for us of like determining what's most important and then taking action.
Right.
Yeah.
Bud says the annex was like that in 70 to 72.
Yeah. And
So that would be 25 years, or not quite 25 years before I was there.
So in the Wildcat Center, there's going to be bleachers and such also, right?
Or
is that-
no to bleachers? No,
No
to
to bleachers.
bleachers.
Oh, okay.
We'll definitely have our storage area, and we're going to have tables and chairs. And there might
They're
be
not going
times.
to play like games. Like they're
Okay.
not going to play like middle school basketball games. And you
Well,
got a gym for that.
We have a gym for that, and we do
Got
that.
it.
That has
Okay.
bleachers, but we have the capacity for sitting down and watching. And if you go back up to the video,
Okay.
and we pause it right in the middle,
Yeah.
between courts.
Oh, okay.
So we'll also be able to put chairs or different things so that people can watch games.
So there will be the capability of having like a middle school basketball tournament.
Yeah.
There.
Well,
'Cause
and
that's how I know in Newport they have a big facility that they play like young kids basketball at, and the courts are separated by nets.
Yeah,
It's
and
kinda
that's
cool.
what what we have.
Yeah, that's exactly
And we,
how they do
and
it.
we bought about 580 chairs that'll also be in storage, so we can bust out chairs. We bought tables if we do an event, like an event center activity, and that's another reason why that sport court's really good.
Yeah, and I didn't know if that's where games were. So games are still going to be, I mean, like the regular basketball games, they're still going to be in the gymnasium.
Well,
as
they have that, so we'll always have that as like the premier. I'll just call it the premier wood court.
Okay, got it.
But
got it.
we'll also have this athletic one, and I don't know. There might be people that say, well, we want to play on the nice new one or whatever, and that might happen. But we're definitely going to have tournaments.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have activities, and there will be competition, and it might be high level competition
Yeah.
right on those courts.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and we're excited.
Yeah. So, are you hoping to have students in there soon in the fall? I mean,
Originally,
target?
it was
Yeah.
August 1st occupancy. We don't think that we're going to have occupancy August 1st now, but we definitely think by, August 14th, August 15th, somewhere in that time period, we can have occupancy. The thing that I've told Mike Becker and Jared Teeter is the 21st is our first day with staff, and we're doing our staff rally, and that's
That's
we're
where you
doing the
wanna
staff
have it.
rally there.
Yeah.
I want people to park in that parking lot. I want people to see this building. I want people to feel the greatness of this, I'll just call it, of that facility and what it's going to bring to our future. And then we'll get to it with whatever we have to do. But and then students really start, the 27th or the 28th, depending, or the 26th, 27th, 28th. So August 21st is my, we need to be in here.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
It is happening, and they're working really hard. I'm very, very pleased with Jared Teeter. Scott Burton is the superintendent that's there the most, and then Mike Becker. They've been great.
Excellent. Well, anything else out there that we need to talk about? You want to talk about?
No, just gratitude. I think love our teachers. If want to love our students need our teachers, and we need to take care of our children as well as possible. And then if we can make it an enjoyable experience also for our teachers, that's really good for them. And we need our parents, we need our students, we need our staff to be great so that we can have a wonderful experience. I'm kind of in a together theme right now. Almost everything, if you want great grades, it's usually a together with the kid, the teacher, the parent together.
Yeah.
If you want great sports, it's usually the coach, the teacher, the parent, the student. Almost everything that we do that's great has to have people doing things in alignment and in support of each other, and that's where we usually have the best results. So together is an important concept right now, and I think we're not always together, not like we used to be.
Right.
We got to try to get there.
Now, did the emphasis on school attendance and stuff last year, did that make a difference?
It's helpful. Yeah, these are all yes, it creates more awareness, it creates more understanding, it creates more urgency.
Because you had a campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, along with that, and you talked about that. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always showing up is a big deal, and when you do show up, you tend to participate better, and you tend to learn more, and then you tend to show that. So,
Right.
So it is. I'm going to say though, it's for the amount of effort that we're putting to make sure that it becomes a big deal. I don't know if we get crazy results, but I think over time we will. So we've moved the dial, and we're going to keep needing to move this dial because we need it to be better.
Well, and again, it's just we're still recovering from COVID.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, all of these things you just got to keep pushing.
COVID, yeah, and I think people started to get a feeling like it's option or it's an option or I don't, I want to do other things and they'll figure it out. And the reality is, there's still you need relationships to make it important for people, and those are things that we do. I think people show up the more they feel connected or valued or understood. or seen or supported, whatever that is. Like they need to feel that for them to want to be with you. So we have to work on all these relationships and this engagement connection piece. And we are, like, we're trying, but we also need people to know, like, the right habits are to show up, are to complete work, and are to do, it is to do our best, and it is for us to be responsible, and it takes all of us. So back to, like, together. I mean, the more we think that we've got to stay together and do things together, that's where we'll probably have the most excellence or the most success.
Yeah.
Good.
Bud says, coming back to LeGrand, one of the things you noticed was the schools. They looked good. It was nice to see them well maintained. Good job.
Oh, thank you, Bud.
The first thing I noticed was the high school gym. Like, it completely different from when I was a kid. It didn't even run the same way when I was young, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The floor is still hard compared to EOU. If you compare the two surfaces, like, EOU is really bouncy, a little bit easier on your knees, but that gym at LeGrand is gorgeous. I mean, it really is.
Auditorium is beautiful too.
Yeah, the auditorium is very nice. Yep.
It's a very pretty auditorium. Central right next to it is very well built.
Never
very
been
cool.
in the new Central. I never.
When you're ready, Dodgy.
Yeah, I never have. I mean, I know the old Central. Yeah.
Just text me.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
No,
it
it's
days.
beautiful. Yeah, I've not been in the classrooms, but I've been in. We have the daddy-daughter dance in there.
When you're ready, I'll show you the whole place. It's a beautiful building. A lot of our new construction areas too, like Greenwood got some new classrooms. Island City's got some new classrooms with additions. We've updated the floor at Greenwood. Greenwood gym is updated, and we put in HVAC, and we've updated some of the classrooms too with seismic grants. Like every spot we've tried to put in. We've spent over $60 million just in my time alone.
Wow.
In updating facilities. And when you look at our athletic stuff too, we have synthetic turf fields for softball completely. Baseball, football, soccer. We're trying to make sure that everything is modernized and up to date. And I'm working on HVAC right now.
Yeah.
I want it to be that within the next 2 years, everything except for Willow we'll figure out, but everything outside of Willow has modernized HVAC.
Right.
That was going to be my question. The district offices, they're on Adams now?
No, on
what is that building on Adams?
North Willow Street. That's the Plant and Operations Center.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So you're still at Willow, you're still at the old Willow.
We're Old Willow, 100-year-old plus building.
I love that.
Well, and just to make a point though, the reason that Willow is not on the list is because it's not where students are, right?
Well, they are there though. Like
okay,
do have it's good, but I need to figure it out with making sure that folks are like our virtual learning academy is at Willow.
Okay.
Especially K through 8. That's where we have a teacher, the dedicated teacher, and that's where we have people come in. We have our child care that we do with the city. That's at Willow too. So after school child care programs are there. When we do city rec type stuff too, they use the Willow Court. But realistically, the city has use of it after school every day that we're in operation. And then realistically too, every day we have kids go to LeGrand Virtual Learning Academy. They do their tutorial in there too. But outside of that, it's staff. It's district. It's nurses. It's our accounts payable people. It's our business office people. It's our title programs people. It's myself.
Right.
And I do usually know that most people look at the district office and say like you need to figure it out, and so we will and we shall.
But it speaks to the priority of where money needs to be spent also. And
where there's the most children and there's the most staff,
right,
and there's the most people that experience a need, that's where the resources should go.
Right.
For sure.
That's how we think.
Yeah, I mean the hospital is not much different than that. I mean, if you go into their administrative areas, it's not extravagant. It's super basic. It's wherever they have space, And I think that's good business. I mean, that's not always the great place to be an executive, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and you're right. That's the value that we have as well, and that's the standard. We're there to serve. I talk to people like our whole purpose is to serve the school district or to serve the buildings. We should be talented and skilled, and we should give whatever we can give to help them so that they can do their jobs well.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone that suffers, it should be us that suffers.
Right.
Because when we have to make decisions, we're doing it also from a place of like understanding and knowing that there's an impact to everything.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that makes a difference to the citizens too. Makes a difference to this citizen, put it that way. Okay, so when through bonds my taxes are going up, and and we're paying for school facilities, whatever the case might be, and then I notice that. I know it's like, oh, okay, well, Scott Carpenter's is in the basement of Willow, I mean, and that makes sense to me. It's like, the bond money is going where it needs to go. It's not going on spending a whole bunch of money on, extra stuff for administration.
Yeah. That's for me is those, like, you're right. So I have to find either our own general fund money or store things from general fund in a way where if I'm going to modernize the boardroom, then I have money to modernize the boardroom, and I do that 1 year at a time. Or if I'm going to create a professional development room or a conference room, that I do that slowly and I develop that conference room. And so that's kind of our approach. And then when I can put HVAC, I do into those classroom settings, I'll put in HVAC, which is like the heat pumps that can do both heating and air conditioning and standalone units. And but I do that kind of piecemeal.
Yeah.
What about the Riveria building? What exactly happens in that building?
It's not owned by the district.
Oh, it's not?
No,
it's owned by the city?
City, I think the city even sold it to another group. I forgot the name of the group, but somebody told me before, let's just call it a certain group was created, and they wound up being the entity that purchased it, and they're the entity that controls it, and it's not the city.
Private. So
it's managed by Community Connections. I do know that, but I don't. I mean, at least the gym space.
In my mind, though, of course, I only can going forward with what I do or what I know, but I wish the district at the time would have been like, we're going to rent it or we're going to let others use it.
Yeah.
Because that's acreage, that's land, that's potential for other things that could be done. It could have been made with the city and the district into a community center, and then people, but all of these partnerships and all these things take a lot of time too. But I just know, once you have ground or once you have facilities, you should try to keep them.
Right.
And even if you're not having students because you've decreased in enrollment, maybe they can be repurposed jointly for the community. With
and I
other
think Willow
stakeholders.
School was that perfect example, right? I mean, you guys have found use for that from an administrative standpoint, and
So that ties into my next question. Has enrollment dropped that much that because when I was in high school, Riveria and Willow, Central, Island City, now we're down 2 grade schools. Is there that many less kids?
When you think of an elementary school, they typically have
200?
350
300?
to lower. 350 is almost like two kinder classrooms, 2 first grade classrooms, 2 third. I mean, so it's just think K through 5.
Yeah.
2 per 70 kids ish to maybe 60 kids ish, whatever
Per
we
grade.
want per grade level times 5. So you're going to have in this like 350-ish range, 330, 350. But what I was told, and I've looked at numbers before, there was a time where like LeGrand School District was about 3,000 students.
That's combined. So middle school, high school.
So when you think
K through 12.
Yeah, when you think combined 3,000, and then now you're at 2,100 or 2,150, that's the 850, 900 students lost. And when you lose, that's 2 schools already. That's 700 kids. That's collapsing, and then, well, what are we going to do? And then you redistribute kids into, now this is the central area residence that gets redistributed or rezoned. this is the Island City one, this is the Greenwood one, and that's what districts do. And so that's what I'm sure, you know, I wasn't here during that time, but when we decrease enrollment, like it costs a lot to run a facility, it costs a lot to maintain a facility,
Yeah.
and I get that. But I do think that if you partner and you wind up looking at other entities or organizations that also want space, you can collectively create something that's good for the community
Absolutely.
with that space and not give it away.
Right. Yeah. Well, George, thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. It's always a pleasure. We always enjoy the conversation.
Me too. I don't know always where it's going to go, but I usually like it.
Well, and we don't normally know where it's going to go
We've
either.
never hit you with any hard, like anything hard.
I probably like
One of these days,
I'd
though,
deflect.
just
I'd say, I don't know.
You'd
I'd
say,
probably
I'd
say,
deflect.
Yeah.
not ready to answer that right now. But it's, you know, you guys
You're
do
gonna have
a
to
great
talk to
job.
my boss about
Yeah.
that one. That's what I would say. That's the easiest way to deflect. Just hand them
Yeah,
DC
it's not. Yeah, it's
business
his.
card,
That's his. Yeah.
Usually, and I honestly, I like, you know, I'm kind of a honest, transparent, vulnerable, whatever. All the things that come to mind to me, I like that too. So it's like, I think that's healthy. So I want people to see that side of me, but I also
Well, and
like to see that side
and
of
we
you
try
guys.
and foster that with,
Yeah.
you know, all of the officials that sit in the chair that you're in. You know, I mean, because in a small community, that's what people care. They want to see the heart of the person who, you know, whether that's the chief of police or one of the commissioners or the mayor or whomever. I mean, they want to see their heart. You know, they want to see, because, you know, in the communication process of stuff, there's a lot of things can get wonky. You know, people will think this, and well, he thinks this, or whatever the case might be. And for me, I appreciate knowing people, because I can take this information that I'm hearing and I'm going like, that does not sound like the person I know. The person I know comes from a foundation that this does not jive with. And so knowing people and the community have that benefit too. That's the point. Is when people see your heart, they have the benefit of knowing, you know, your intentions, or knowing what you really think or what you really feel, and it gives that foundation to come back to some kind of reality, you know. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
All right, you want to get us
Let's
out of
rip
here?
through it. On this day, July 18th, 1864, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln asked for 500,000 volunteers for military service. 1892, the first human test of a vaccine against cholera. Ukrainian bacteriologist, I'm not even going to try to say his name, but anyways, he risked his own life by testing it on himself. That's how it should be, I think. If you come up with something that you should have to, you should. Not some random person. 1897, Cap Anson is the first Major League Baseball player to get 3,000 hits, which 3,000 hits is the benchmark for baseball when it comes to basically kind of the Hall of Fame. If you're a hitter and you want to make it into the Hall of Fame, you either have to hit 500 home runs or 3,000 hits generally. 1953, Elvis Presley paid $3.98 to make his first demo at Sun Studio in Memphis Records. My Happiness and That's When Your Heartache Begins. He gave the record to his mother as a birthday present.
Huh. Cool.
1953. 1968, Intel Corporation is founded in Santa Clara, California by Gordon Moore and Robert Noyce. 1976, Nadia Comaneci, 14 years old, becomes the first gymnast in the Olympic Games history to score a perfect 10 in gymnastics. She did it 7 times.
And that was what year?
In
76?
Montreal, 7 times at 14 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Speaking of 14 years old, the youngest professional athlete in United States professional sports history made his debut. I can't remember his name. Major League Soccer player. 14.
Wow.
14. That's that. I was thinking like when I was 14. No way. Like, I was trying to figure out.
You're
how
either
to,
in middle school
I
or high
couldn't
school.
remember my locker combination when I was 14. 1994, Crayola announces the introduction of scented crayons. Do you think kids ate more crayons before or after? I don't know the answer, but
What year was that?
1994. They started making them scented crayons. You know,
Scented?
I'll bet you
Oh.
kids ate more crayons after they become scented.
After they became scented?
You
Yeah.
give me a blueberry crayon, I'm probably gonna give it a little taste, right? The kids ate crayons anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. 2019 children's songs Baby Shark and Raining Tacos are used by the city of West Palm Beach, Florida to drive away homeless people from the waterfront, and it worked. They just played it all the time,
No.
loud, and
Yeah.
people left. On this day, the #1 song in America in 1984, When Doves Cry by Prince. And then the quote of the day comes from Sam Walton. High expectations are the key to everything. It's pretty simple. One more time. High expectations are the key to everything.
All
That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks again, George. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
a lot going on this weekend. Crazy days this weekend. Don't forget about everything. Next week we will have pre-recorded shows that we'll show next week because the studio will be torn down and stuff for the big game next Saturday. Goes live at 5:30.
July 27th.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
See you guys soon.